Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I sat down to actually film a YouTube video. So I've been filming like shorts, Instagram reels and other short clips, but I've not actually sat down to film a YouTube video for some time, and that's because things have just been crazy in my life. Maybe I'll do an update about all the things that have been going on in another video, but for now let's focus on today's video. Today's video is actually a requested video. So I actually had this video idea written down in my book. However, I was a little bit reluctant to film it, but then in recent times about 3 different moms reached out to me concerning this particular issue, and so I decided that okay, before I do like a more permanent material concerning this, let me just film a video about it so that we can see how far we go with it. I hope we find this one useful and that it helps us sort out some of the issues we've been having concerning this issue. So let's reveal the elephant in the room. Today's video is talking about the nanny situation in Nigeria. So before I go into the 7 points I want to share with you today, let me just say that in Nigeria, having a nanny is a big deal, and then it's not that much of a big deal, because I know that abroad it is a very expensive venture to get a nanny and pay them to work for you. In Nigeria, it is not that expensive because you get to choose what you pay your nanny. I mean, you can decide that I cannot pay above a certain amount, and I think that that's one of our problems. But let's just see if you can find any useful tips from the things that I'm going to share today. Finding a good nanny is not easy, but today the focus is going to be on actually keeping a good nanny if you find one. So I'm going to be sharing with you 7 boxes you must tick in order to ensure that you keep your good nanny. Now, I have a disclaimer. This is not to say that once you follow these tips, your nanny is going to stay. Because trust me, some of us have always been the way we are. We've always done things by the books, but still, it does not stop the nannies from biting you when they want to. So I'm just saying that on our own part as moms, and especially as working moms, it's important that we ensure that we've ticked all these boxes, so that if anyone wants to make a case against us, we know for a fact that we have done all these things, yet they keep living. So let's dive right into it. The first thing I would say is that you must treat your nanny like a human being. You need to first of all see your nanny as a human first before a nanny. And this goes for any domestic staff or anyone that works for you. We always have to remember that these people are human beings. So you need to think about it in terms of how much work are you expecting from this human being? How much are you going to be paying this human being? What are the conditions of service that you are offering to this human being? So just different things. You need to first of all realize that you're dealing with a human being, because sometimes a lot of us forget that we are dealing with human beings, and maybe we think that we're dealing with robots. So maybe if we consciously remember and remind ourselves that these people are human beings, it will help us treat them better. Okay, so that's number 1 box we must tick. Number 2, you need to let them know that you value the work that you're doing. Now, I want to believe that because we're calling them nannies, they are interfacing with our children quite often. So if they're working with your kids, I expect that we'll place a whole lot of value on their work and let them know that their work is valued. There is no big deal in expressing gratitude to your nanny from time to time, commending them for the things that they do for you, and even rewarding them if you can in the smallest of ways. They mustn't be like huge rewards. They mustn't even be monetary rewards. They can be in form of treats. You can buy them stuff, just something little to make them know that their work is valued. And this point also encompasses how much you pay them. So I hear a lot of people name ridiculous amounts that they pay to their nannies, and they expect heaven and earth from them. You pay a very insignificant amount to a nanny that you're entrusting your kids' lives to, and then you expect them to do so much with so little pay. Let's be realistic. Do the math. You're paying XXX amount, and then you expect XX times 1 million output. It doesn't work that way. We need to be realistic. We need to pay them reasonably, or at least let the tasks that you're giving them to do measure up with what you're paying them. You can't be paying peanuts and expecting a whole lot. Okay? Also think about the Nigeria that we live in now. The same way you need more is the same way your domestic staff or whoever, your nanny or whatever you call them, need more as well. So you need to look at it like that. The third box we must tick is that we need to show these people respect. Listen, I cannot drum this in enough. Respect is reciprocal. You cannot disrespect the people that work for you and expect them to stay. You can't belittle them. You can't shame them at every opportunity and then expect them to keep staying on. These people have feelings. You need to be careful the way you speak with them. Even if you need to reprimand them or correct them, you need to find the most respectful ways to do it. You can be firm but respectful. I think that a lot of people need to learn this. Okay, so even if it means working on yourself so that you fix that, please, you need to fix it. Because a lot of people, even if you're paying them millions of naira for certain tasks, if you don't respect them, if you don't treat them with respect, they will not stay. They will leave. And I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we women and mothers make is that we shout at these nannies, we speak to them in derogatory ways right in front of the children that they are taking care of. Some of them don't, if you look at it, it's really, really wrong. It's a wrong thing to do. And if I were a nanny that was spoken to so carelessly in front of children, I really would not last there as well. So you need to sometimes empathize with their situation. In fact, you need to always empathize with their situation. Okay? Speak to them respectfully. Address issues respectfully. If you have things that you need to speak to them about or correct them about or reprimand them for, then do it privately. Don't stand in front of your children, raise your voice and be yelling. How do you expect such children to respect the nannies? And if children start to disrespect their nannies, they will not last long. They will not last long. And if you find your kids disrespecting your nannies, please, please, please do not take sides with them. You don't want a spoiled child. Please correct it, fix it immediately. Do not let it linger. Do not let them feel like it's okay. Fix it, because it is wrong on all levels. If you're a mom who has been treating your nannies like that and you expect them to stay and to love you and to be loyal to you, you're making such a big mistake. They will keep on living until you fix things in terms of how you speak with them, how you respect them, how you treat them with decorum. They will keep on living. So if we don't have this box checked, that might be one of the reasons why they keep on leaving. Number 4, you know me, I keep on talking about structures. You must have structures in your home. You must create schedules and carry your nannies along. Your nanny or your nannies, you have to create schedules and carry them along. You need to open up some aspects of your schedules to your nanny. For example, don't just wake up in the morning and start to say, oh, we have to get this done, we have to get this done. No, don't do that. So let me give an example of how this works for me. So most times when I have things to do, if I have things lined up, maybe I have an early day the next day, The same way I am planning my day, and thinking of all the things that I have lined up for that day, I'm carrying my nanny along. So I'm telling her this is the time that I will be leaving the house tomorrow. I'm going out with this child or all the children and even you. Or I'm going out alone. This is how long I expect to stay when I go out. Just so that she knows exactly how to plan her own time as well. Because you need to respect their time as well. You've not paid for her and her entire life. So you need to create schedules and carry her along as well. It helps make everybody's life easy. So if she knows, for example, that I'll be going out at 7 a.m. tomorrow, then she knows that this is the time that I'm supposed to wake up today. Or even if that's not the time I'm going to wake up, this is the time I'm supposed to be out of my room. Something like that. I think this will go a long way in helping your nanny feel organized herself, and there's just something about being carried along, okay? It will help. Number 5. This one is very important, even for me. It's something that I need to work on. I will not even lie. You need to set clear boundaries from the beginning. From the very, very beginning. Let your nannies know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Of course, you need to be reasonable when you're setting boundaries. Do not set boundaries that will make people feel so alienated and unaccepted. Set boundaries that will just ensure that certain lines that you never want to be crossed will never be crossed. And make sure you keep hammering it in so that even if there is any mistake along the line, you will help them to recenter and start again. Okay? And while I'm on this, remember to forgive. I didn't write this here, but then set boundaries, but at the same time, you need to give room for errors. You need to give room for mistakes. You need to give room for flaws as well. Even you, my sister, are you perfect? Don't have people err once and then cut them off completely. You will keep on changing. You need to have a forgiving heart, okay? You need to have a forgiving heart. There is no sin that God does not forgive. So if it is humanly possible for you to forgive a particular error, and as far as it hasn't put your life in actual danger, then please forgive. It has taken me years to actually get to this point. It's not as if I have not made my own nanny mistakes along the line. But then I'm not even perfect yet, but I think that I'm better off than when I first, got my own home and started having nannies. Number 6, you need to give them time to breathe. Okay? Now, just the same way everybody needs a break, they also need a break sometimes. I see a lot of people who are so stiff and rigid with this aspect. Everybody needs rest sometimes. There should be a cut-off time, in your home where the nanny gets some time off. Okay, you can say your duty ends at 8 p.m. or 7:30, or I don't know, like whatever works for you. Okay, don't expect a nanny to work endlessly for so many hours. Remember the first point, they are human beings, so you need to treat them as human beings. You must remember that they also get tired. You can even give them a day off, 2 days off, and manage. 2 days off will not kill you. 2 days off in a month, or 1 day off twice a month will not kill you. It will not, you won't die. It will be challenging because I'm sure you have to combine work and everything, and then maybe sacrifice your own rest for those weekends, but then it's worth it. They also need to take some time off to refresh and then come back. It helps. Last but not the least is make some provision for their growth as well. Don't just get somebody, put them in your house, and then you're not talking about like progression in any way. You started the person on this amount when they first started. When next are you going to do a review of their salary? Are they going to remain on that level for the rest of their lives? In terms of personal development, what are you doing for them? Are they learning a skill, or are they preparing to go back to school? How are you helping them think about and even guiding them towards thinking about their progression in life? I don't think anybody should work for you and then the person is just on one level for a very long time. You need to, except if you yourself are not growing in any way. And if that's the case, then there's a real problem there. But I think that as you grow, you should also carry them along and let them grow with you. So if you've checked these 7 boxes and they still say they are not staying, well, I don't know. Like, everybody has freedom to make decisions for themselves, especially if they're adults. If they insist that they want to go, that's fine. No one can work with you forever, just like you cannot work in one place all your life, right? One day you must move on. So if you've ticked all these boxes, I want you to be really, really true to yourself. Let us just look inwards. This calls for introspection. Let us look inwards. If we have really, really ticked all these boxes and they're still not staying, then honestly, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. There might be other points that I've missed out. Please share with me in the comments so that every other person can learn from your comments as well. You can also share your nanny stories, share your experiences with me in the comments. I noticed that most times when people want to send me a comment, they come to my personal DM and they're sending their comments. That's fine, but it would also help if you send your comments here on YouTube, because it will also help us grow. Don't forget to like this video, click on the notification bell, and share this video to all and sundry. And also feel free to drop any video ideas that you have for me. If there's anything you feel like I should address, let me know and I'll see if I can do that. So until next time, bye bye.